What's up, gang? Welcome back to another one of my creature design videos for my fantasy world project that I'm planning on making into an actual compendium. At this point, I've designed a good amount of creatures for this world, and I'm thinking about releasing the first volume of all these bestiary entries in a digital ebook for purchase in the near future, since I've still got a lot more work to do before releasing an actual physical edition. But anyways, let's talk about this first concept here and the overall theme of today's creature design video. We're going to be venturing into the southern seas, and if you take a look here on my newly updated world map, more specifically we're going to be checking out some creatures that inhabit the locale known as the Sarrabbean Sea, which is a region that is heavily inspired by one of my favorite films of all time, Pirates of the Caribbean. So I thought it would make sense to start off with designing my own version of the iconic Kraken. Ever since I posted the video where I designed the Leviathan, I've had tons of people wanting to see my interpretation of this enormous cephalopod, so I hope y'all like how this one turned out. The first thing I had to figure out was whether I wanted to go with a more squid-based design or an octopus one. And personally, I've just always felt that the octopus is a cooler looking animal, so that's what I rolled with. I didn't do anything super crazy or over the top with this design. I definitely wanted to make it a little more grounded looking than having all these wacky things thrown into it, which is fun, don't get me wrong, but it's just not what my approach is going to be here. I obviously had to give it the Josh White special and make it look really spiky, as you can see with this big fat head, but I also thought it would be cool to make the tentacles look a little more intimidating by making those little suction cups look almost like bony skeletal ridges. Having to draw little tedious details like that is never the most fun thing for me, but I will say I think the finished product is an absolute banger. But what really makes this Kraken here stand out is the color design, I think. I had this idea in mind for shades of purples, oranges, and yellows. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go the route of some sort of bioluminescent features or not, but I decided not to and just let the color patterns speak for themselves. Especially since this Kraken doesn't just stick to the deep and dark depths of the ocean and actually ventures into the Sarrabbean Sea, which is a vibrant and flourishing biome with crystal blue-green waters and vast coral reefs and seaweed forests, and of course, pirates and smugglers and merchants and all that jazz. As is tradition with the legends of the Kraken, these dudes are feared throughout the southern oceans since they have been known to attack and sink ships that enter into their territory. A Kraken is going to do what a Kraken's going to do, you know? They're big ol' ocean bullies with short tempers, but with that being said, that whole mentality changes when they're confronted by the great Leviathans who just so happen to love the taste of a fresh octopus. Their relationship is very much like the sperm whale and giant squids of our own world, with the whale pretty much always winning the battle. And here we have the completed bestiary entry for the notorious Kraken. As you might have noticed, I changed up the background template here to make it a little cleaner of a presentation, and also this is going to be the layout for how all these entries are going to look in my ebook. I'll have the first page of each creature being a fully rendered piece like this, and then the next page will have some other little details and such, which you will see after I read off its lore entry here. A colossal cephalopod, the Kraken is one of the most feared creatures throughout the southern oceans. Seafaring folk are often hesitant to even mention its name while aboard ships because of the superstitious belief that it is bad luck and may summon the beast. The Kraken builds its home on the ocean floors with the remains of the fallen ships it drags down to the dark depths. They occasionally clash with the Leviathans, who are one of the few creatures of the seas capable of preying upon the notorious Kraken. And now let's turn the page to check out some more information here on the Kraken. We've got the locale, the diet, lifespan, elemental affinity, size comparison, and of course another sketch with some notes about the beast. Since this is the new layout, I will be going back and updating all the previous bestiary entries to look like this for the ebook. But let's go ahead and move on to the next creature design. So, since we have a kaiju-sized beast in the Kraken, we're going to be going in the complete opposite direction with this one here and make a tiny creature known as the sea monkey. When I was a little kid, I remember learning that there were these real-life animals known as sea monkeys, and I don't remember specifically which cartoon it was, but they had these things as actual tiny monkeys that live in the water. And I was so hyped about that and wanted my parents to buy me one of those sea monkey packs to put in a fishbowl, only to find out they're just some lame-ass brine shrimp. My heart sank to the bottoms of the ocean that day, and I've been depressed ever since. But anyways, I felt like I had to right this tragic wrong, and so that's what led me to coming up with this concept here. As you can see from the references, I used a lionfish as the main source of inspiration for its design. I wanted these little sea monkeys to have a really cool and vibrant color pattern, but also have some toxic spiny fins all over its body that can help ward off certain predators. These dudes hang out in the coral reefs and seaweed forests beneath the ocean waves, and never really venture out into the open waters where they no longer have protection from their environment. Just like real monkeys, they're really social creatures that live in groups and have decent levels of intelligence. They eat small critters that inhabit the nooks and crannies of the coral reefs, and also the seaweed from the surrounding ocean forests. You'll see when I start coloring this monkey, I was going off the reference from the reddish colored lionfish, but I ended up switching over to a bluish hued one instead on the final render just because it looked better against the warmer color background template. But they do come in a range of different colors, so there will be blue ones, red ones, brown ones, and so forth, just like the lionfish. It was fun seeing it slowly come together as I painted in all the stripes, and overall I think the design turned out pretty solid. Let me know in the comments down below what y'all think about this critter here. Coming up with an aquatic monkey actually gave me another idea for a possible future creature design that plays around that same mix, but I scrapped it for now because I couldn't quite get the design looking right. So maybe you'll see it pop up in a future video, or I might just sneak it into the first volume of the ebook as a little surprise. Who knows? And here we have the completed bestiary entry for the sea monkey, or scientifically speaking, the aqua simius. And as for its lore entry, the sea monkey is a playful creature that lives amongst the coral reefs in the Sarrabbean Sea. Although they may look cute, the tips of their spines are laced with a powerful toxin to ward off predators. Their strikingly beautiful patterns can range anywhere from a deep cerulean blue to a warm scarlet red. The sea monkey's diet primarily consists of sea vegetation, such as the giant kelp forests that grow throughout the coastal waters. And now let's go ahead and flip the page here to check out some more info on the sea monkey. Obviously, I wasn't going to make them the size of real-life sea monkeys, the brine shrimp. So, as you can see, they're, more like the size of actual monkeys. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the final creature design of today's video. Alrighty, we're going to be cooking up a crustacean design here. Originally, my idea was going to be a crab that has a bunch of treasure on its back, just to go with the whole pirate theme of this locale. But I wasn't sure if I was going to have it be some natural growth that occurs atop their shells, or have it be a creature that takes lost treasure that plants it onto its back. But I completely scrapped that idea because I remembered that's like the same exact shit as the giant crab dude from Moana, and I didn't want to straight up copy that, so then I moved on to just making a really rugged looking crab instead. The name for this species is the Lavaback Crab, and you'll see why once we get to the coloring part of this concept. I was searching the interwebs for cool looking crabs and found this one that had a shell that looked almost like magma, so I took that inspiration and incorporated it here into this dude. I thought it would be cool if there were volcanic vents on the ocean floors here in the Sarrabbean Sea, and that could be where these lavabacks hang out. They aren't like fire elemental crabs or anything like that though. They are pretty large, as you'll end up seeing once we get to the size comparison later. Unfortunately for the sea monkeys, these lavabacks aren't affected by their venomous barbs, so they will often end up on the menu for these heavily armored crustaceans. These crabs pretty much stay beneath the surface of the oceans and never really come onto land, since there's no real reason for them to do so. Just like the Kraken, this creature design here isn't some wild hybrid concoction of various animals. I'm trying to make sure I get a good mix of all sorts of animals here in the world, so some will be less fantastical. Also, since we're on the subject of crabs, let me know in the comments down below if you have a favorite crab dish, or just shellfish dish in general, because personally crab and lobster are two of my favorite things to eat. A little seafood boil with some snow crab legs drenched in Old Bay butter and garlic, or a fat ass lobster roll. Those gotta be in my top 10 favorite food dishes for sure. So good. And here we have the completed bestiary entry for the Lavaback Crab, scientific name Volcanothyros. And as for its lore entry, This large, rugged species of crab dwells on the ocean floor of the Sarrabbean Sea. The lavaback earns its name from the fact that its iron-hard carapace resembles magma, though they have no actual elemental affinity towards fire. They hang out around the volcanic vents on the outskirts of the expansive coral reefs, which they will stalk when searching for prey such as the rambunctious sea monkey. Despite their intimidating appearance, these crustaceans are a favorite delicacy of the local fishing communities on the coast and are large enough to provide a meal for an entire village. Crab soup, anyone? And now let's go ahead and flip the page here to get some more details on the lavaback. As you can see here from the size comparison, we're definitely going to be needing a very large pot to get this crab boil going. And that's going to do it for this episode of my world building series. Let me know in the comments down below which region on my world map that you would like to see me design some creatures and lore for next. And if you liked the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it. As always, I will be uploading these final designs onto my Instagram profile in the description box down below if you want to give that a follow as well. And if you are ever interested in any art commissions, you can hit me up over there too. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.